So hi everyone, this is Etsy and I'm back in the Philippines. Sorry for my setup right now. It's been a long time. It's been like 3 months since I went back here in the Philippines. And actually it still feels surreal up until now. When I look at the videos I took when I was in Malaysia, it's still a little bit hard for me to grasp. Not so easy for me to talk about leaving Malaysia. It's not that a light topic for me. So first, we have here what made me choose Malaysia. What makes you choose to continue your study in Malaysia? And if not Malaysia, what is your second choice? Honestly, under aims, I had 3 choices: Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. And for me, Malaysia is like the best choice because aside from the fact that it is a Muslim country, which is something that I really dreamed of going to.
Malaysia, I think, is a lot better in a sense
In
that
terms of like education, they have a much more higher ranking institution, so that's why I chose Malaysia. And I could credit a lot more subjects when I chose the universities in Malaysia, so that's why I chose Malaysia. And aside from that, Malaysia is also close to Singapore, which is another like my dream country, so that's why I chose it. If not, then what is your second choice? Well, I had
Thailand and Indonesia was like very close to one another as my second choice.
I consider Indonesia because it's also a Muslim country, but I heard a lot of people saying that Indonesia looks very similar to Philippines. And
I haven't really heard a lot about institutions there. I haven't really done any research since I already targeted Malaysia.
but I did consider one of the universities there because the facilities are very good. And then I also have like Mahidol University from Thailand. I also considered that, but then the deadline was already done after I tried applying for it. So
I ended up applying to 3 universities in Malaysia.
which is University Putra Malaysia, UITM Shah Alam, and UKM, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Are you able to adjust yourself in Malaysia so far? How fluent are you now in Bahasa Melayu? Hi semua. This is my first time speaking in Malay again after 3 months. We spoke English all the time, and I think I spoke more Korean more than speaking Bahasa Melayu when I went there. So, okay. Hai semua, nama saya Itzy. Saya dari Filipina. Saya berasal dari Filipina. Terima kasih banyak. How many languages do you know? Are you interested in learning new languages? In Philippines, I technically speak Tagalog and English, Filipino and English. These 2 are our official languages.
But then the thing is that we are so diverse and there's a lot of like tribes here in Mindanao. So technically I speak another 2 languages,
Which is Bisaya, and the other one is a dialect, which is Maguindanao.
so I technically have 4 inside the Philippines to just give you to let you know how different they are. They say good morning in English, right? And magandang umaga in Tagalog. And
In Bisaya, maayong buntag, and Maguindanao, which is my tribe's language, Yamapita. This is how different they are. Maybe let's add Korean. Yeah, I think y'all have watched my videos already. So next one, I can read and write Arabic.
I think that is like mostly among the Muslim people.
What else? Bahasa Melayu. But my Bahasa Melayu is so bad. I can only count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's the same in Tagalog. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. I forgot to say 11. So yeah, I told you guys my Malay is so bad. So
I don't know if I can consider it as like another language that I can speak, but maybe put it on the beginner level.
I saw here someone asking why do I blur my face. Well, mainly it's because of the privacy.
You know, internet is a very, very scary place.
And that's why there's a lot of deep fake and stuff, and
There's just so many things going on in the internet and we cannot just
simply trust. And especially in my YouTube channel where I share a lot of personal things, I don't think.
blurring my face, how I look like would help. So yeah.
So 3 best places you've been in KL. I don't really want to answer this because KL is not tiny, but
It's more condensed, so I really cannot give a lot of answers for this one, but let's make it 3 best places you've been to in Malaysia, rather. Okay.
only the mainland area, not yet in where is Sabah Sarawak, is it? Well, inshallah, I'm really planning to go there. I could technically go there by ferry or boat, but it's just that for some reasons
I have to take 1, 2, 3 flights.
yeah, 3 flights just to get there. Maybe I'll put first Putrajaya. Putrajaya is just so clean and it left me a very good impression. One of my best favorite go-to place. And then let's put Kelantan next. Kelantan is Kelantan. I think, yeah, I already like told you guys a lot about Kelantan. It's the food there is just so good. Yeah, the food there is good. You know, I'm a huge foodie, and I think the experience, like the travel experience I had there, is just very fun. And for the third one, it's actually very hard to choose.
I've been to Ipoh, Malacca, Canara Highlands, Langkawi, Penang.
I would like to like put Malacca and Penang side by side here. Yeah, the reason is watch my videos. I'm gonna link them there. So next one, how often do you keep in touch with your family? Do you get homesick sometimes? The thing is that I've never been homesick.
All from my exchange. That's why it's so hard for me to leave Malaysia, because it just felt like home the moment I landed there.
I wasn't lying when I said I was really happy all throughout my exchange. That's why it was my dream life. And when I was there, yeah, I do keep in touch with my family and friends. But the thing is that people would ask me, why don't I miss my family? Why am I not happy going back to Philippines?
Well, because nowadays we can just keep in touch with our family and friends using our phones, right? Like there's internet and stuff.
But being in a place where there's halal food everywhere, there's prayer rooms everywhere, you live on campus that I technically just need to like walk 2-3 minutes going to school, and that I don't need to travel by jeepney, having no air conditioners. That's like my lifestyle here. It's so hard.
And that's why like the quality of living in general in Malaysia is just a lot better, and the food there is just, and the fact that it's
Halal, like I would say, a lot of like cross-cultural communication going on every day. It's just unique. There's so much things happening in one single day.
yeah, I think you guys already understand why it's very hard to like move on from everything.
I would feel much more homesick than now I'm back here in the Philippines.
But yeah, we have nothing to do with that. Qadar Allah, this is what Allah has decreed to me, and I'm just very grateful that Allah still gave me the blessing of being able to live in Malaysia for at least 5 months. That is still a very huge blessing, and I'm forever grateful to Allah Ta'ala for that.
Next, so how did you land this fully funded scholarship? I am under the scholarship called AIMS, which is Asian International Mobility for Students.
And this one is offered in my university.
And I applied, of course. There's a screening and there's like requirements like submitting essays, your grades, recommendation letter from the deans. Actually, it's less complicated compared to other fully funded scholarships outside your university. But for me,
It's still hard, especially the part that after the endorsement, you have to choose the university that you want.
just to be completely honest, communication with University Putra Malaysia was very hard too, and I almost did not consider them at all. I already considered UKM, but then
UPM sent their offer letter 3 days before UKM sent me one.
that's why I chose UPM. They required a specific requirement that my university did not have. That's why it's very hard for me.
So that leads us to another question.
Which is, what are your first as an exchange? How to become an exchange student is that check with your university.
It's such a huge thing to check with your international office.
Alhamdulillah, in University of Mindanao, there are a lot of like internationalization opportunities for students like me. And so the criteria for AIMS to become a student under engineering, business, and accountancy. For me, I am under legal management, which is a business. When I had interview, actually, I don't know if I am allowed to disclose this, but yeah, just this area right here. And actually, it's also very challenging because I don't know if I have mentioned this, but I was the first Muslim student to be sent by under AIMS program. That's why during my interview, we had this segment where they would ask me about my hijab and like
Being conservative and stuff, but alhamdulillah, I was able to handle it very well, those questions, even though they might be daunting.
And I think it's also a way for them to like know how capable you are and how competent you are as a student ambassador. So just believe in yourself and always practice. And I think the one thing that really helped me go through this is, aside from like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance, of course, it's all about confidence as a student. You need to give an impression, like a very strong impression, that you can actually survive overseas alone.
Because since in my case, I went to UPM alone, I wanted to take risk of going into a university that was the first, as a first student to be sent by UM. And I was also the first one, this is another thing, the first exchange student under my course, which is legal management. So it was very challenging because technically I don't have like any mentors or like anyone who had been in my situation before. There's a lot of like firsts with me, but
It's all about taking risk, and alhamdulillah, I would be nothing without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help, like literally. And I also had like a lot of challenges in between, but I don't really want to talk about it now. Just utilize all of the search engines, especially in Google, like search for stuff like that. And yeah, you will be good, inshallah. Let's proceed to the next question. How is the education in Malaysia? I've received a lot of questions about how is Malaysia when it comes to like education. For me, I could only speak for UPM. So I hope this will be enough.
And I can also speak for the experiences of my fellow exchange students who went to UKM and University Malaya.
So overall, the Malaysia education life is a lot more laid back compared to the Philippines, especially in University of Mindanao, where we have like every 2 weeks we have our examinations, while in Malaysia it's like very chill and very laid back type of like curriculum. There are a lot of like organizations that you could join, organizations and clubs, and the fact that these opportunities are actually very important, especially when it comes to like networking. I'm very particular when it comes to networking and how useful this is into your career and into your life in general. At UPM, there's like a lot of events going on that you will never get bored. Like you will never get bored, like literally, I'm not kidding.
And I don't really want to sugarcoat as much as possible, but the teachers and the professors there can also speak English. There's this class that I have
where I am the only like mobility student that is like microeconomics, but then despite that the professor would still speak in English, and I'm very glad and I really appreciate this because not all lecturers are as considerate as like that one. And another thing is that
we only had 3 examinations in total in a span of like how many months was it? It's like 1 semester.
And thankfully for me, like I traveled a lot during my exchange, right? Despite that, I had like a decent grade. I feel pretty embarrassed about this topic, but
yeah, I feel like all throughout my exchange, I haven't really focused a lot when it comes to academics because I really made time to enjoy just my exchange, and the fact that the subjects I took there are also minor. That's why I did not really pay so much attention as much as I would pay attention if I was here in the Philippines.
I don't really discard all of my hard work. I still studied, I still studied, but it's not just as hard as what I did here in the Philippines. And they don't have Saturday classes, and they only have like the system of classes there is that
it's only 3 hours per week, but then 2 hours is allotted for one day and another hour for the next day or like another day.
Because unlike here in the Philippines, the system here is common like Monday to Saturday class.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
But that's the reality here. In no way I am bashing Philippines here, but I am stating facts when it comes to educational system in the Philippines and in Malaysia. And it's also very inclusive there since diversity is existent everywhere there, right?
Because of that, like the teachers and the professors there tend to be more considerate when it comes to their students, and it's just so good, and they're also very responsive in WhatsApp. But I'm speaking all of these things based on my experience in UPM, okay? Just a disclaimer, I don't want anyone like speaking out to me.
If your experience is different, then it's your experience. My experience is my experience. I actually received a lot of questions from you guys regarding accommodation.
Accommodation is like one of the things that I really had a hard time, especially before coming in Malaysia.
Well, for me in my case, I moved on campus.
And like it's so funny because like a classmate of mine asked me if Malaysia has a bell like this, and I was like, no.
And they were like, did you miss it?
In my case, I moved on campus like a month after leaving into an apartment. That's like, so if I would take Grab, I would arrive on UPM, which is in my faculty around 7 minutes, right? But then if it's bus route, I need to leave like 40 minutes earlier.
Right, because the travel would take 30 minutes, even though it's very close, but it's just that bus goes like that.
And that's like one of the biggest adjustment I had when it came to Malaysia, because I'm not really used to waiting for the bus schedule, because jeepneys here in the Philippines,
it doesn't have like a specific schedule where it had to go by. In jeepneys, you could also just need to do it like this, and it would stop right in front of you and just say para po, and it would stop anywhere you want. Yeah, as long as it's within the route. For the apartment, it was okay. I only had to pay 350 ringgit. Actually, it's not that bad. It's really good. And compared here in the Philippines, Philippine rent is a lot higher. That's why I was really amazed with the prices of apartment there. If you find accommodation, make sure to ask a lot of questions, especially if you cannot go there personally.
And in my case, I moved out because of the electricity fees. It was a little bit expensive and commuting was very tough.
I moved on campus, and on campus was a lot better. The guest house only makes us pay 400 ringgit. It's so crazy actually to think about it. 400 ringgit already includes like the air conditioner fee. Like it's fully furnished,
and I had like my own restroom too. That's technically like a studio unit just right beside my faculty. It's just,
so I suggest if you would visit or like
go to UPM as a mobility student or like full-time student,
go to like UPM guest house. But I think that is only offered for international students, if I'm not wrong.
Aside from that, I think that's the only thing. Apartments in Malaysia are so far so good. Everything's just in my experience, okay? I'm speaking in my experience, so please do your research.
How do you get money as a student? I'm super curious. This one is like more of like my
Okay, so in this question, I already answered it through comment section, but I want to answer it again because the moment I went back here in the Philippines, a lot of like my fellow classmates and friends asked me about this, like where do I get money from traveling around during exchange?
Like how did I had so much time and like money and resources to go out of the country.
Like, I went out of the country 3 times, if you guys are wondering. I went to Thailand, Singapore, and Vietnam during my exchange.
First, okay? I had a job before I went to my exchange, and I just resigned.
A month before I left for my exchange.
This job, I really worked hard for it. Check the vlog right here. I'm gonna put it right here. But yeah, I did have a job, and that's like a social media manager job. But other than that, I had a lot of savings ever since I was a kid. Like, I would always put savings first before my own wants and needs. Literally so pathetic, but I'm telling you, saving money is very like worth it at the end, if you know what I mean. Like, you know where to put your money and not.
I think for me, in my case, when I was in high school, I was saving money too much that I would refuse to go out and stuff like that just to save my money. And even at times where I'm out with my family and then they would order like get themselves some drinks, I would choose not to. I would simply not buy anything, and I was never drinking, but then I don't want to buy like an overpriced drink just for like a very fleeting belief.
It's all about saving money. Saya lapar. Just kidding. I was really dreaming of traveling abroad at a very young age. That's why I really saved up money, like chunks of my allowances. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives rizki. So just believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make dua.
The money that I get from YouTube is not that a lot, but still, I think I would still consider it as like hard-earned money.
And so that's how I got money. And do not forget, I went to Malaysia with a fully funded exchange. I think that's all. And watch my previous video to see how amazing going through an exchange is. And for those people who have constantly supported me, I am very grateful to you guys. Like, seriously, I'm really, really grateful. Even though I don't show my face, I'm just a faceless person to you guys. I'm really grateful. Alhamdulillah. Please continue to support my videos and watch more of my life after my exchange here in the Philippines as a Muslim Filipino and see me suffer. No, just kidding. If you want to see more about my life, please subscribe to my channel. And this is so awkward. I hope you all enjoy this Q&A and learned a lot from me. Thank you so much, guys. And please do not skip ads in order for me to visit other countries. See you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.